Hi, I'm Wayward, and this is Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath. Have a 1 versus 1 today on Tournament Dust Bowl. And it looks like we have a Warp Sphere sell-off, not Warp Sphere, Warp Gate sell-off here for our Northern Scrin player, who is, let's just check the names real quick.
Building.
Steel Talons is our Scrin player, that's not confusing at all, and our GDI player is Marik. So let's just take a quick look. It's a regular Harvester, so I think it's regular old GDI versus Scrin. Nope, R17, since we have that shielded Harvester. We had some really quick deployments there for the barracks for both players. Had a watchtower come up and then get sold. Little potential fight going on. Those buzzers will not do well against the riflemen. Let's take a look. This is a variant of the map I'm not super familiar with. I'm used to the Tiberium spikes being kind of in the middle of the map, but in this one it's been moved. Of course, Tiberium spikes, they give you credit. You see they're generating money over time. Over here we have the warp sphere up and waiting for another power plant, of course. There it is. And now he's going to be cooking. Steel Talons, of course, is his name. Moving that drone ship over to his natural. Going to be scouted by these riflemen. Down here we have much the same thing. We have 4 harvesters, got 2 refineries, moving out that MCV, and of course producing some vehicles. It's like a 5th harvester for our GDI player. And let's see, up here it looks like the same number. It's really hard to see what's going on in the mini-map. A little bit of light harass there. Of course, those riflemen do see that moved drone ship. That's going to be exploitable. Nothing down here that I see for Steel Talons. So, I see Marik's got some really good map vision.
Unit under attack. Unit lost. Construction complete.
And Steel Talons not quite as good with keeping tabs on his opponent. The match is kind of slowed down right now. I think this is not a higher level replay. It looks like just 2 players having fun. Looks like a bunch of pit bulls coming out. Of course, this is a light skirmisher unit. It's got some rockets, can fire on the move, I believe. And that's a nice little pack of them coming up to harass this harvesting operation. Now, Steel Talons, our Reaper 17, has basically no defenses. It looks like he's got like 1 of these shard walkers, which is a decent anti-infantry vehicle, but not going to stop these pit bulls. So I think something is going to happen. Here we have Tier 2, the nerve center up for Steel Talons, our Scrin player, and a second war factory that's interesting for our GDI. Looks like he's getting APCs as well as additionally producing more harvesters. Now these shard walkers are going to struggle against those pit bulls, although the pit bulls are, yeah, there we go. So we have 2 portals out, probably going to start making disintegrators. There we go. That is, of course, an anti-tank infantry. They shoot lasers that are pretty good against vehicles. And that's forcing our GDI player, Marik, back a little bit. Got some APCs coming out. Again, kind of just a slow, not much going on. A little scout there from those buzzers. That's a little bit overdue. So those pit bulls still trying to find an in. APCs taking out some defenses coming up. It's a bit of a waste of resources, but I think merited. We do have attenuated force fields. There we go. The pit bulls drop the shield on that harvester, but don't deal significant damage to it. Not a great trade there for Marik. Shard walkers getting scouted as they push out for a counter push, although we do have some of these Predator tanks out to stop that from happening. A lot of Predator tanks actually right now. Our Scrin player is going to struggle unless he gets Tier 3 up, which is going to be difficult because he's mined out his first base, and just got some extraneous stuff going on, not selling that off. This skirmish is going to go really badly for Steel Talons. Everything just goes down. There's disintegrators are killed by the APC, and the Shard Walkers are killed by the large mass of Predator tanks. These pit bulls are being healed up. I think that's great. That sell-off is going to provide some additional resources for Marik to continue to get out stuff. This is a really bad unit composition for our Scrin player. We do have another Warp Sphere out. Not the best, although we do have Tier 3 up here, and something's being upgraded from it. Guess we'll find out in a second. Our GDI player starting to get air units. Got a Firehawk out. And it's got an upgrade. Stratofighter booster. Cool, cool. There's Tier 2. Still kind of relying on these tanks here. Finally a tripod out for our Scrin player. This is a decent army. I understand, though, that Marik does not want to get involved with this. Well done moving that drone ship. A little late, I think, but is going to be able to continue to get some income. More scouting there by our Scrin player. There's Tier 3 up for GDI, finally. Got another Firehawk out. This army is going to keep this drone ship safe while Steel Talons, again, the Scrin player expands. Oh, it's infantry. His infantry are standing in the Tiberium. These pit bulls taking out that Tiberium spike, that is going to be good in the longer term. Looks like Marik still has his. That one's going to go down in a second. There's not much up here. Those disintegrators are probably going to be able to forestall a little bit. So we did also have the move of the MCV by Marik. That Shard Walker is going to go down, but our Scrin player a little ahead. We do have some anti-air, so he's seen the airfield. And out come the Firehawks, and we'll see what happens with them. I think what I would like to see is, that's a waste of those pit bulls. Let's see, they are being taken out by the Shard Walkers, and there is anti-air up here. It looks like Tier 3 might have been sold off. It's a weird thing to sell off. Doesn't have too many tripods. And that last pit bull is going to go down. Let's see. Have a sonic emitter. Yeah, I can tell these players are not super high level because they're building all these defensive kind of proactively instead of reactively. Now, this is a lot of tanks here. We have some mammoths mixed in. Those powered up tripods are really nasty. That mammoth does go down. This is a decent amount of tanks here, though. What is bad for Marik is he's not really committing and he's just losing forces. Airfield got sold off, I think, after that. We do have a Reclamator hub, so we've got the Marv coming out. That's going to be pretty cool to see. Always like seeing the super units. Not the same thing on the Scrin side. Looks like that's a bad move, that Harvester long-distance harvesting. Steel Talons is going to have to make something happen eventually. Just kind of resting on his laurels and going to mine this out sooner than later. And with only one extractor over here, he's got a bit of a traffic jam. It's going to slow down his income over here. Of course, Marik has 2 refineries, so doing a little better there. This tank ball getting pretty big. Let's take a look at that Tier 3. We do have railguns researched by the Mammoth tank. That's a good... There we go. Got the Marv and the sell-off of the Reclamator hub. Have some zone troopers going in. And let's see, this is probably going to be the big climactic battle with the tank forces versus this giant Reaper 17 death ball. Got a lot of Shard Walkers coming in, but not a lot of targets that are good for the Shard Walkers. These Reaper turrets, oh man, that's a big stasis field. That is going to make a difference, I think. Got some paused production. He's got this entire army is just kind of locked down, and the Scrin army is moving into position to EMP it and take advantage of that passive ability for the Reapers. So there's the stun. Well played by Steel Talons. This army is now looking not good at taking out what the Skrin are throwing out. And this Marv is going to go down pretty soon, having done nothing. This is how you deal with a Marv as Skrin. That Reaper Force is still pretty low. Not a lot of units left, even with those Reaper tripods being so powerful. They are not quite enough to take out. He did actually manage to use another support power and phase it to let that last tripod get away, but this is a severely decimated army. We do have tier 3 back out. Let's see. No tier 4 yet. I kind of hope to see the GDI. There's another sell-off. That's good. Still, Marik is feeling pretty confident, I think. Got Juggernauts coming out. Like to see those. Of course, that's a long-ranged artillery unit. Kind of like the siege tank, but higher tier, and I think cooler looking. Juggernauts are going to be a problem. Let's see. What is he trying to do? Is he just going around his opponent's army? I feel like this is probably enough Juggernauts, honestly. Now, this could backfire on our GDI player. He's trying to be sneaky and come around at the side, I think, and attack his opponent's base, but he's leaving his own base relatively undefended. We have a couple of sonic turrets here, but sonic emitters, I guess. I think that's what's going on. I'm not sure these orcas are the right call. These shardwalkers are going to make kind of short work of them. Let's see, we did get... Oh, that was an Orca Strike, I think. Maybe not. Then we have the Marv coming out again, thank goodness. I want to see that Marv do something. GDI player Marik is getting really low on resources. There's a tiny bit of Tiberium that's built back up around these, but basically he's out of income. And it looks like Steel Talons has seen what Marik is doing and has moved his own army to match it up. We do have a bunch of infantry over here. What is that? What is going on? A little visual glitch, I think, with the Juggernauts. Let's see. We need to... There we go. We have one Juggernaut deploying, I thought. No? There we go. I think the Juggernauts are what's going to make this, if anything. This army, I think, is slightly larger than its GDI counterpart. Buzzers, got a photon cannon. Enough tripods. There we go with a Tiberium Seed to get a little bit more resources. I'm not sure if that's worthwhile. It's not a ton of resources. Maybe it's just enough to make a difference. We do have more orcas coming out. That Reaper tripod will actually go down. So, nice little pick off there. Juggernauts are too close, and the Reapers are going to be able to come in and get some unneeded hits on them. That's not great. Another Juggernaut goes down, leaving its husk. This army just, oof. Juggernauts were not able to make their unique selling point work in this case, and that's going to be really bad for Marik, as, of course, there's actually a Juggernaut in Steel Talons' base. Again, Steel Talon is the player name, not the faction. Having to mix back in some tier 1 infantry into this ball. There's not a lot left. Honestly, what Steel Talon should do is kind of just build some assimilators and come steal all these husks back. Got a couple of tier 3 units out here. Nice crush there. Did lose the Juggernaut to the Disintegrators. That's pretty bad. But making these Mammoth tanks work. Storm Column coming down. This is a pretty cool turret. It's got that Plasma Storm coming out around itself. Yeah, but our... Oh, this is that's a bad fight. The Mammoth is not able to even close on the Reaper. Takes it out, but these Disintegrators are dealing some incidental damage, and this Reaper does manage to escape. Right now, our Skrin player is the only one who's currently getting any appreciable income, which is going to be bad. Why the laser fencing? That seems unnecessary. But it is really increasingly hard right now for Marik to get any income, and he just really has almost nothing, where we have just about enough tripods here to make something happen. And the storm column is going to make this this base kind of hard to break. Now, we did see that MCV moving out for Marik. Not entirely sure what he plans on doing with it. Maybe doing kind of some aggressive turreting with the sonic emitter. I'm not entirely sure. Long distance mining with those harvesters. That's never what you want to see, of course. But there's nothing. There's no Tiberium left. So maybe some sell-offs could try to make something happen, but I see the harvesters don't even have anything to do. I really think this is probably about all she wrote for Marik. And we do have the Marv out, though, so if you can keep out of range of these tripods, typically you'd want to see something. He doesn't even have anything slotted, it looks like, maybe. Now, I think he's maybe got some zone troopers in there. He's got a railgun coming out. Oh no, oh, they're going to get up close and stun it again. Oh, here comes the EMP, there it goes. And that's probably about all she wrote for the Marv. There's nothing to support it, there's nothing to protect it. Got a couple of Orcas. Maybe the Marv with this last little force of mammoths might just be enough. Back down goes the Marv again. This is probably some of the worst Marv use I've seen in a long time. This army, I think, definitely big enough to take out what Marik has over here. Marik trying to get back out of there. I don't know if this is deployed or not. There we go. He's trying to make use of that Juggernaut. I just don't think there's enough here. This is a really nasty, big army. Maybe if there's enough resources for a support power or something, but I just don't think there's enough here for Marik. We have a little bit of resources coming back out around this. Another wasted Juggernaut. Disintegrators and Reaper tripods making short work of these mammoths. There's hardly anything left. There's like 3 tanks. You know it's bad when one side you can count the number of units and the other side is just a big incoming ball of death. Not great for our GDI player. This many Reapers and that last mammoth goes down, and now it's just APCs versus tripods, and I think we all know how that's going to come out. Got a little bit... Nope, just the harvesters. We do have some aggressive attack of the base here. Looks like he's going with infantry up here, but his base is going to be melting to this, and there's not much that infantry is going to be able to do against this. Anyway, Marik's base is rapidly melting to this large and dominating Skrin force. Looks like this has mostly been cleaned up, actually. There's not a lot of harvesting going on over here. But there's just not much stuff left for our GDI player. We have some missiles. 3 barracks. That's an interesting tactic. Looks like some of this was captured by engineers. That's kind of clever. Got some sell-offs. Not much left. There's only a couple buildings left for... Wow. So Marik might actually pull this out of his butt, so to speak, just because there's just nothing. There's only like 4 buildings left for this. Another sell-off. What? Oh, this warp sphere goes down. There's no more production. There's only the drone ship and this 1 power plant. I don't think he can harvest anymore. Depowered that armory, continuing to move. This is base race territory right now. The last couple of buildings for each player about to go down. So this last leg of the match becomes kind of funny almost, as both players have almost nothing. And it's really rocket troopers. Versus, I mean, there's this giant army, but it's on the wrong part of the map. Once the drone ship goes down, that's going to be all she wrote. Although the shard walkers are going to be enough to take out these missile troopers. So well done by Steel Talons getting the shard walkers back over there, and the buzzers to take out the missile troopers. Simulator starts stealing stuff back, I think that's a good choice. But what is our... What is that? Oh, there's also a little stasis chamber hidden up there. So I don't know. It's going to be really close. I don't think there's enough here for... Yeah, there's just not quite enough left to seal the deal, as it were. Almost no income for our screen player, but... Drone ship escaping, being hidden off in the corner. There's nothing to stop this. This is the end. This is it. Drone ship is going to be safe. Stasis chamber is going to be safe. Oop, what? There it goes. So in the end, Steel Talons is the winner, and Marik takes the loss. So kind of slow in the beginning, a little, not the best, not the highest level match, of course, anyone's ever seen. But I thought the end came down to kind of an interesting. Marik almost pulled it back with the rocket troopers. I think ultimately, though, Marik kind of, didn't really have a plan going into the mid game, where Steel Talon his plan was just to continue to mass up those tripods. So well played by Steel Talons. Kind of a not the most interesting strategy. We had Marik try some interesting things, just didn't execute them properly. Anyway, this has been Wayward, and this has been Command & Conquer 3: Kane's Wrath. Thanks for watching.